about the good old days. Which good old days? The days with Capone? I was just a young boy then. The days in the old country. I was a baby when we came over. But I will tell you about when I was a young man. About the dawn. About my friends in the family. They were my best friends in the family. Not only family, but my best friends. There was a time we were out walking. The Don was a great man. Back then we had respect. Were there things that had to be done? Of course, there are always things that have to be done. But the Don took care of things. There was great respect for him at the time. Not like today. But it was a nice, warm, sunny day. The Don just wanted to take a walk. So whoever was there, we went out to walk. Not talk about business, no. Not talk about the family. Just the Don enjoyed nature, just walking around. So we're out walking around. The Don, me, Jimmy Cables, Danny Dimes. There was the Mexican kid, Junior Gonzalez. The other guy was Scotty. I haven't thought about Scotty for a long time. Scotty, Scotty the Sticks. That's what the Don used to call him. So we're walking around, and Scotty the Sticks, he had this drumsticks, you know, he's always beating on things. I mean, not really beating, but always drumming. He was some kind of drummer in a band or something. He was a good kid, good-looking kid. Not much success with the ladies, though. He just, you know, I don't know what it was. Never got married, never had kids. But anyway, we're walking down the street, beautiful day, just talking, enjoying the air, birds singing. These two young mooks, had no respect, you know. They started making fun of us, making fun of the Don. And the Don was, he's a great guy. He's a kind of a funny-looking guy, you know. I mean, we never made fun of him. We never thought of him because we were raised up with him, you know. I mean, he never looked funny to us, but I guess in retrospect. The kids were making fun, and the guys were gonna, you know, take care of him. Take care of him. And Don said, no, it's okay. They're just young. They don't know any better. And so, you know, they let him go. And they turned around and, you know, making gestures and, you know, calling us names. And Junior, the toolbox, he said, Don, let me. Don said, no, it's okay. And he turned around to Scotty. He'd already told Scotty to put the sticks up. And Scotty drum everywhere. I mean, he'd walking down the street, drum on mailboxes, he'd drum on fences, drum on people's cars. And the Don had already told Scotty, enough, put your sticks in your pocket. You didn't have to tell, you know, Don didn't have to say it twice. So these kids were making fun of Don, and he looks at Scotty, he says, Scotty, you got those sticks. And you can see the smile, and Scotty didn't really understand what he meant. He says, go play those boys a song. So Scotty goes over, and he's good with these drumsticks. He starts drumming on those guys, and those guys try to put up a fight. It was like bees all over these guys, you know. And they start whining and screaming and yelling. They couldn't get away from him. He just wilted. And Scotty's playing a symphony on these guys, on their heads, on their face, on their hands. He's just all over these guys with these drumsticks. I mean, he's just like bees. And the guys were like begging for mercy. And it was a good lesson. I mean, the guys treated us respect after that. I mean, it seemed like they became friends. I can't remember, but I mean, we didn't have to do anything serious, and then they left. But Junior Gonzalez, he was going to take care of it, and the Don knew that. He told him that he let it go. Junior, everybody wondered how we got a Mexican kid in with the group and with the family. He wasn't really part of the family, but he became part of the family. Junior's old man was a mechanic, and he did some things for the Don, and then he became our mechanic. He became the mechanic for the family. Good man. He was a good mechanic. He took care. I mean, back then we had a fleet of cars, had some trucks and things for business. But he took care of everything. He was a great mechanic. We didn't need anybody else. And his kid, Junior, was just a kid then. I mean, just a little, but he learned his father's ways. And the old man got killed. I mean, oddly enough, in a car wreck. You know, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. I guess you live by the car, you die by the car. He was killed in a car wreck by himself. And the Don really liked the kid. The Don liked the old man, and the Don, took the kid in. And the kid knew the ways of his father, and he got to be just as good a mechanic as his father. So the Don took care of him and his mom. It was just him and his mom. But one day the Don was over. He was over talking with him, getting the car fixed. He was with somebody else. They were talking about something. And there's a guy who wasn't paying up, and everybody was busy. I mean, there's nobody around, and the job needed to be done. And Don said, "Well, we'll just get to it. We'll get to it." So the kid, this Junior Gonzalez kid, he was listening the whole time. And it was about lunchtime. He said, "Sir, can I buy you some lunch? I'm going to go out and get lunch. It's lunchtime." Don said, no, thank you, but I'm fine." So about half an hour later, we're still sitting there. We're still around. And Junior comes back, and he's got his toolbox in his hand. And we didn't realize he'd taken his toolbox. And he didn't have any lunch, but he handed the Don a package and had money. And Don like, "What is this?" And so Junior told him that what he had done, and he'd gone over and taken care of the guy and collected his money. Actually, the guy gave him interest, more than the Don was collecting. So, anyway, so Junior goes, he tells what he does to the guy, and he had his toolbox, he had all the tools in there. He was working on the guy with tools. And the Don was just laughing. I mean, he was kind of in amazement that Junior would take it on himself, but from that point on, the Don called him the toolbox. And if the Don needed something, special done, I mean, the kid was good. I mean, he was a good mechanic, but he was a master at the other stuff. So he'd take his toolbox, and oh man, I don't know what that guy would do to people, that needed to have something done. And it was Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes, he was a good kid. They were all good kids, but he was, I don't know, when he was a kid, his dad always told him he wouldn't be worth a nickel, and Danny didn't like that. I mean, he hated that when his dad told him he wouldn't be worth a nickel. So for some reason we called him Danny Dimes. I don't know, maybe worth a dime, we called him Danny Dimes. Jimmy Cables, he was a real skinny kid. And he was always like nervous and shaking around, and he was funny kid. He made the Don laugh. And one day the Don said, "Jimmy, you acting like you got a bunch of cables. Sometimes we'd take cables and batteries and hook them up to people, and make them jump around. He said, "Jimmy, it's like we hooked up with the cables." From that point on, we called him Jimmy Cables. There's a bunch of other guys that we can talk about another time. I'm kind of tired. And that was part of the old crew, my old crew, when I was, in business, the life. Not that you really ever get away from the life, but that's as far as I can tell you tonight. We'll talk about it another time if you want to come back.